Has your little one just started solids and you're wondering if what they eat can impact how they sleep? You're definitely not alone. As the dietitian for little ones, I get this question in the Nutrition Village almost every day. With parents asking me, am I feeding the wrong foods that are causing my child to wake overnight, or are there better foods that I can offer, or could I be offering certain foods at different times? As a dietitian and a mum myself, I was really interested in looking into the nitty-gritty of the research around nutrition and sleep. So stick around, because in my research, I found that there are some really interesting links between what we eat and how we sleep. Hi, I'm Tara, accredited practicing dietitian and mum to two cheeky little boys that love to keep me on my toes. I've been working at little ones for a while now, and in that time have helped thousands of families just like yours with the what, why and how of infant nutrition. Here on the Little Ones channel, we have heaps and heaps of free resources. So if you wanted to click the link above, that'll notify you of any time a free nutrition or sleep related video comes out. And if you are interested in looking into our sleep programs, then click the link in the bio below. Our comprehensive sleep and nutrition programs actually give you access to the sleep and nutrition villages, where you can chat to qualified sleep consultants and also to myself with any of those burning sleep or nutrition questions that you might have. So today we're going to be answering the burning nutrition question: does what my little one eats impact how they sleep? The answer to that is a definite yes. If we think about ourselves and how we feel after having a cup of coffee right after dinner and whether we can sleep or not, we have a little bit of a clue into whether nutrition can impact sleep. And also, if you've ever had a really carbohydrate heavy dinner and then felt really tired afterwards, that might give you a clue as well that yes, food can definitely impact how we sleep. Okay, so today we're going to go through all of the different foods and some nutrients that can impact how we sleep. And we're going to start off with tryptophan. So tryptophan is an amino acid, and it's found in foods like meat, eggs, fish, tofu, legumes, foods that we think of as protein foods generally. And tryptophan is actually helpful in the production of serotonin and melatonin. It's really important in the production of those. And serotonin and melatonin together regulate our feelings of happiness, our mood, and our sleep. Research has shown that when children have tryptophan earlier on in the day, so foods at breakfast time that contain tryptophan, that it can actually lead to a better overnight sleep for the little one. And also, the research has found that if little ones don't have foods high in tryptophan in the morning, or have no foods that are really high sort of tryptophan containing in the morning, it can actually lead to a poorer quality overnight sleep. So we want to look at including foods in the morning that contain tryptophan. So things like yogurt, which is a dairy product, ground nuts and seeds, especially for babies. We want to make sure that they're really ground into a fine powder, because nuts and seeds are a choking hazard. Those sort of things earlier on in the day. Eggs at breakfast time is also a great one. So including those foods, those tryptophan foods at breakfast time, can actually improve a little one's sleep quality. Next up, we have complex carbohydrates. So complex carbohydrates are things like vegetables and fruits, very important foods. And then also we have whole grains, so things like whole wheat breads, whole wheat pastas, whole grain rice or brown rice. And complex carbohydrates have actually shown that when you have them closer to dinner time, or at dinner time, or closer to the end of the day, they can actually help with the overnight sleep. So can help with those feelings of, the research has shown that people had a better overnight sleep overall when they had complex carbohydrates at dinner time. And I think we can all relate to that by, as I said before, that feeling of a bit sort of drowsiness after we have carbohydrates at bedtime. So they can be really helpful. It's also important though to remember that we don't want to confuse complex and simple carbohydrates. So simple carbohydrates are those refined carbohydrates. So things like refined sugar or refined white bread and things like that. They actually have shown to have the opposite effect. So they can actually decrease our chance of having a good quality overnight sleep. Okay, now we're going to look at some specific foods that can help with sleep. So first up we have kiwi fruit. These amazing little green fruit that are often grown in New Zealand, come from New Zealand, just like our sleep programs. The research has shown that there might be some really strong links between eating kiwi fruit at night and and increasing the quality of the overnight sleep. It might be because kiwi fruit have a really high concentration of that melatonin that we were talking about earlier. It could also be because they're just packed full of nutrients. Kiwi fruit are really high in vitamin C. They're really high in folate, and folate deficiency has been linked to insomnia. So it could be that they're correcting that deficiency. It could be that they've got the melatonin. It could be both. But either way, kiwi fruit are fantastic at regulating that, at helping with that overnight sleep. And finally, we have cherries. So sour and tart cherries have been linked in quite a few studies to increasing the overnight sleep. It could be because, again, like kiwi fruit, sour cherries and tart cherries contain high levels of melatonin. So the research has shown that when people eat those foods throughout the day, that then leads to an increased quality of the overnight sleep. So people are sleeping for longer and deeper, having deeper sleeps, less interrupted sleep. So yeah, it could be the melatonin. A lot of this research isn't exactly clear as to the mechanism of why these things are happening, but there are some really clear links between those sour cherries and the kiwi fruit and that overnight sleep. So in summary of today's video, we looked at foods that can impact sleep. First up, we had tryptophan and how giving that in the morning might actually be able to help with the overnight sleep, and how not having any tryptophan in the morning might actually negatively impact that overnight sleep. We looked at complex carbohydrates, how having them closer to dinner time might be best. Then at cherries and kiwi fruit that have that high melatonin concentration, which might be the reason that they can help with sleep. Just a note on cherries. Cherries are a round fruit with a large pit, so they are a choking risk. I find the best way to give them is to remove the pit and then stew them down and then strain them, just to be extra careful. If you're giving them to really young babies, you can even puree them. We actually have a recipe for a cherry chia seed jam in the nutrition program. So that's one of the things that you'll find in there. So that's a safe way to give them, and those chia seeds actually help to increase the iron, to boost the iron in your little one's diet as well. So that's it for today. And again, if you wanted to see more of our videos, please subscribe to our channel. And the link for our website is in our bio below. Thanks for listening.